how to even work this thing anymore. Oh my goodness. Well, this lighting is jank. We got nasty burp cloths and pukey clothes behind me, and it is what it is, you know? A sleeping baby right over there that's probably gonna interrupt me. Well, hey, welcome back to Eating Well. It has been literally forever, and I have some sort of head cold / horrible allergies. Our whole household is sick right now. I wanted to make this video to, let's be honest, kind of get out of the way, which sounds horrible, but really just to like get it done, because I want to, not just for the channel's sake, but for my sake, like just get it done as soon as possible so I have I can explain every piece of the puzzle and every memory that I have of the birth before I forget any details. And you know, I want to be able to reflect well on it, and so, but it's also a really fun video to make because it is the birth of my son. And I think the last video I made, I was like 37, 38 weeks pregnant or something, and so it's been a few months and a lot has happened, and I'm gonna try to make it condensed so it's not the most boring, detailed birth story video you've ever watched. I don't have a fancy birth vlog or anything like that, but I do have some pictures so we can show those. I have literally been surviving on Fit Aid, and I'm actually like fairly caffeine sensitive. And I can barely feel this, and so that's pretty impressive for how sleep deprived I am. Yeah, so before the baby wakes up, let's just get into it, you know? So I'm currently 6 weeks and some change postpartum, so he's approaching 2 months old. So I guess starting maybe like back up right before the birth. So first of all, we had a son. His name is Leon David Scritchfield. He is the cutest little button in the entire world. He's pretty much a perfect mixture of Tad and I, with probably a little more dash of Tad. But he is incredible, and he's so sweet, and he has an amazing personality we're starting to see. But he was born on Easter, so that's really fun. So 4/17/22, he was 7 pounds exactly and 19 inches exactly, which is crazy. We did a home birth, which is also crazy. And I was really defensive during my pregnancy. When people were like, oh, you're doing a home birth, like they would have that, you know, like dumb reaction. It was valid though. Now that I know how hard birth and labor is, ooh, home birth is no joke. Home birth is not for the faint of heart. Let's get real. It was awful, really, really hard. But anyways, the day before he was born, so Saturday, I actually got my membrane sweeped because he was born late. He was late, and so he came on 40 weeks and 5 days, and so all of our family was here. All our family flew in from Michigan and California, and they were just sitting around waiting for the baby, and I was like, come on, Leon, what the heck are you doing? Because he's kind of a homebody like his mom and dad. But Saturday, I got my membrane sweeped by my midwife. If you don't know what that is, you can just Google it. At 4 a.m., I started having some cramping. I woke up and I was like, ooh, that's, I had cramping, you know, for a few weeks. Actually, I thought I was in labor a few times, but that morning I was like, ooh, this feels a little more. And I actually had this huge desire to get in the shower. So that's another sign. I was like, ooh, I want hot water right now. But I noticed, all of a sudden I realized, I was like, I'm grabbing the wall, like, you know, to like brace for contractions. I'm like bracing for this. And so I was like, I think this is more than just cramping. A few hours later, they were really regular, you know, 4 minutes apart. I was on the ball, you know, rolling, doing my hip rolls and everything. And, you know, woke Tad up. I was like, I think we're in labor. Yeah, 4 a.m. it started, and then by 10 a.m., and because it was Easter morning, my midwife and our doula, you know, they were at church celebrating the Lord, you know, Resurrection Day. Doula finally came at 10 a.m., so we did a lot of early labor on our own at home, right in this room. He was literally born right behind me, literally right there. But anyways, so doula came at around 10, and listen, it doesn't matter if you do a home birth or hospital birth. If you hire a doula. Hire a doula, especially for your first birth if you haven't had one. Here's why. Most men don't really know what to do, right? Like, men or husbands are supposed to, like, well, not supposed to, they should really help during birth, right? Like, they're kind of your coach, they're your support. And if your husband or your boyfriend or whatever is like my husband, they're a little more timid. It's a really scary thing sometimes, watching your wife have convulsions, basically. And my doula, Natalie, was literally, this woman was a saint. Like, she was I could not have done that without her. She helped me like moan low tones to help get through contractions. She squeezed my hips. She's also a massage therapist, so huge bonus. So she was kind of like at my back and my hips and would hold me, and I would hang on her, and like the whole birth, she was just, anyways, long story short, get a doula. So she came at 10 and really started helping me with those. They were really picking up at that point. Pretty much everything was the same during the whole labor. They just got, like, the contractions just got worse. Like, I laid down on my side for a little bit in the bed with my pregnancy pillow, and then we'd walk around a little bit, and then I'd get on the ball. The day went by pretty fast because it was a 14-hour labor total. And so I think by 2 o'clock, no, 1 o'clock, my midwife actually showed up. And as soon as she got here, she saw how in pain I was, and she was like, okay, let's get the pool set up. So got the pool set up. I was on the toilet laboring, which was weird. And they try to like make you pee, you know, throughout the labor, which is really hard to do. Like, can you like imagine like being in pain down there and then trying to pee? Like, it's just, what in the world? Also to note, I never felt any pain in my gut, which no one warned me about. And I'm going to warn you now if you're going to have a baby. I've heard before that back labor is the worst. I only felt it in my hips and back. It was awful. Like, it was, and I'm not trying to like freak you out. I'm not trying to be that person, but it was really bad. Like, pain level 1025, like just like insane pain. And so around 2 o'clock, they got the pool set up right back here, and I got in the tub, and I was in the tub for 4 hours, which is a little bit long. I think that my midwife thought I was further along than I was. They had to keep boiling water and bringing it up and pouring it into the tub to keep the tub warm. And you know what's weird? Like, midwifery is so chill. Like, there were times where I was literally like not screaming, like moaning so loud and so intensely to the point where I was gagging. Like, I was like, bleh! Like, I never threw up, but I was like gagging so hard. And I remember kind of like in between contractions, kind of like getting a vibe of the room. And besides Natalie, my doula, and Tad, there was 2 other midwives that were there, and they were just like sitting around because there's not much to do, right? Like, they really just show up and like they take vitals every once in a while and then like deliver your baby. But they were just like sitting on the floor, like sitting on my floor, chilling. Like, this is really weird. Anyways, so fast forward 4 hours, and he was born at 6 p.m., 6:01 or something, 6:07, something like that. I pushed for an hour, which felt like 10 minutes, if that. Like, it felt really, really fast. I didn't think, when they told me, oh yeah, you pushed for a whole hour, I was like, that was an hour? It felt really short. And my water didn't break until I was ready to push. So my water broke at 5, which was the craziest feeling. Like, I'm in a tub, so I'm in water. It was this huge pop in my pelvis, and then obviously I was in water, so you couldn't see it, but it felt like a jet, like a hot tub jet was like shoot. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And my midwife was like, okay, so now that your water broke, things are gonna get a little more intense. And I was like, now they're gonna get in. Ooh. So then they did. Ooh, baby. They picked up real fast. The sensation of having a head go through your pelvis, how do you describe it? Just imagine a baby coming out of you. How do you describe it? You can't describe it. You can't describe the feeling unless you do it. Anyways, so yeah, he was born. But here's the crazy part. I apparently don't know my own strength. And I pushed him out so fast. Well, here's the thing. His head came out. Tad had wanted to catch him. Jen, my midwife, told Tad, okay, as soon as the head comes out, you're going to come towards her butt and then reach down and you're going to catch him because then his body's going to come out. The head and the body were delivered in the same minute, which, if you know anything about birth, that's insanely fast. And he like ejected out of me. Like, Tad couldn't even catch him because he came out so fast. Jen had to finagle the baby and get him onto me. So I apparently don't know my own strength, and the baby's up. So we're gonna grab him. Okay, he's really cranky because he wants to eat, but say hi, Bebop. Oh my goodness. That's not nice. Okay, okay, okay. Let's eat. Let's eat. Okay, let's eat. We'll continue later. Okay, we are back. We are changed. We are happy. Happy. Say hi, Bob. We got our cloth diaper on and our shirt. We're good to go. Boogies are sucked out. Woohoo! I'm just gonna try to set him right next to me. You wanna say hi? You wanna say hi? Wow. What about? Hi, Leon. Okay, so where was I? Pushed him out really fast. So when you push a baby out, it obviously like squeezes them. That helps to get out the fluid that was in their lungs. He didn't get that chance because I like ejected him real fast. And so he came out not being able to breathe. And so that's what sent us to the hospital. So Tad took the baby, they were on the bed, they got me out of the tub, my placenta, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, they check all his vitals, they weigh in, they measure him, all that stuff, like in our bed. So we're like literally in our bed, in our bedroom, hanging out, chilling, and they're doing all this stuff. And they're like, oh, he's not, well, first they tried to put him to my boob to eat. And he wasn't latching. And so they were trying to figure out what was wrong. And they were like, oh yeah, his oxygen levels are like really low. He's not breathing super well. And so they tried to give him oxygen. They have like a little handheld one and it wasn't working. So 3 hours after labor or after he was born, we had to go to the hospital. And so that's what sent us to the hospital, and unfortunately we couldn't go to the hospital 5 minutes down the road. We had to go to the one downtown Nashville, which was 30 minutes away. Out of the 4 nights that he was in the hospital, we only had a room the first and the last night. They gave us a courtesy room the first night, and they put him on, hi, are you smiling? They put him on oxygen, and you watching mommy talk? They put him on oxygen, and within the first few days, his oxygen was fine. He was perfect. He was great. He, you know, the oxygen helped push everything out of his lungs. But because he was not breathing well, then he wasn't eating well, which sent him into some jaundice. And so he had jaundice, and so that's what kept him in the hospital. Really reiterated why I chose not to birth in a hospital or give birth in a hospital. I won't go too much into the details of that, but I just didn't appreciate a lot of things that they did. I have severe white coat syndrome. I get super high bad anxiety and high blood pressure when I go into any doctor's offices or anything like that. That's part of the reason. But yeah, I didn't like some of the protocol that they chose to do for him, and it was not very fun. And you know, when you're so early postpartum, you're in a totally different headspace. I mean, you're literally in a different world, like mentally. And I had some tearing down there, and so I couldn't walk. Like, I had to be wheelchaired around. You know, I barely got any sleep, and you know, I had this expectation. I'm gonna deliver my baby, and then I'm gonna be home. That I was, you know, gonna deliver him, and then we'd just be at home, right? And then that didn't happen. And then plus 4 more nights, and so that was really not fun. But you know what? We're healthy and we're home. You know, I think the hardest things for us, you know, for me was like not being there to protect him when he was in the hospital. That was really hard. That was my first mom guilt experience, and that sucked. Listen, if you have a reflux baby, girl, come over, bring a bottle of wine, let's cry together, because whew, listen, I know there's worse things, right? Like, he could have been in the NICU for months, like some babies. I mean, there's so many things that go wrong with babies. So if you've been given, by God, a reflux baby, I feel you. Like, it sucks. I do so much laundry. He spits up literally all the time, and sometimes it sounds like he's choking. The hardest thing right now is sometimes you just gotta choose your sanity, you know? You're sleep deprived, you're learning an entire human, you're feeding an entire human, and I'm breastfeeding on top of that. Breastfeeding has not been easy. Breastfeeding's not easy, y'all. There's hard in everything. Formula's hard, especially right now in this crazy time. You kind of just have to choose your hard. It's all hard, right? Having every single kind of doctor, you know, tell you all these different things, all different advice, is so overwhelming that I feel like I'm just learning, you know, I have to choose me. I have to choose what I think is best for him. That's the hardest part about being a mom, is that you feel like people you know, physicians and people who see your baby once every few weeks for 10 minutes, you know, dictate what you should do. And it's like, sometimes your mother intuition is you just gotta follow your gut, you know. With his reflux, I just feel like, you know, he's a newborn. He's new. He's new around here. He's new to this town, you know. He's just gotta learn. He's gotta do what he needs to do. And we'll figure it out, you know. But the other thing we had to do, because his latch wasn't very good for feeding, we also got a lip and tongue tie revision. So his upper lip and then his tongue, we got those revised and cut, well, lasered. That, I will preach that to the ends of the earth, okay? If you have a baby with a lip and tongue tie, I would suggest getting it revised. I know some people are like, it's unnecessary, and that's true. But it can affect feeding when they're older. It can affect breathing and sleep and like all these things. Like, no, I didn't know this, you know, they could affect that much. But that helped his latch a ton. He's so cute. That helped his latch a ton. Now he's still spitting up. They said that would help it. Hasn't really yet. I would say it's gotten a little bit better. Like he doesn't sleep super well because he gurgles at night because of the reflux. It's a whole thing. So I feel like I'm babbling right now. But his birth was beautiful, and it was amazing, and it was really, really good. And he is healthy, right? Like that's all you can ask for is he's healthy, he's strong. He's kind of a brat sometimes, but we love him. We'll keep him. He's also getting over allergies as well. Yeah, some allergies. But he's funny and he's goofy and he's starting to smile. But yeah, his birth was great. He did so good. We were both very healthy the entire time. You know, would I do home birth again? Yes, I would. Now that I am like further removed from the situation, yes, I would do it again because of how not fun the hospital visit was. Again, it reiterated, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't like hospitals. I'm not a fan of the way that they, you know, do things. So, and then some doctors, well, a doctor gave us a little bit of lip about decisions that we made, and so home birth is not for everybody though. Some people, it just depends on what you fear, what you find comforting. For me, being in my home was comforting. Being able to control the lights and the music and the smell and what I wanted to do and my movement. You know, I did not sit still the entire birth. I should have mentioned that. I didn't birth on my back. Because I was in a pool, I could move around, I could squat, I could kneel, I could twist, I was moving pretty much my whole labor, and that really helps, you know, move the baby down. And so total, it was a 14-hour labor. That's pretty good for a first-time mom without medication. I should mention that, so I don't know if I said that, but home birth, you're not medicated. There are some people with complications during pregnancy and they just need help, like high blood pressure and gestational diabetes and group B strep and just things that affect, you know, the baby. And, you know, luckily we had a great pregnancy and we didn't have any of those issues that would send us initially to the hospital, but ours was after. I think I hit her. I guess I should talk about Tad a little bit. He was amazing. So again, you know, thank God for Natalie, for the doula, because she really helped him help me. And one thing I love, well, there's a lot of things I love about midwifery and home birth, but with Tad, I love that he was able to help. You know, I feel like a lot of hospitals don't initiate, but have the dad help in such a big way. I feel like, you know, they kind of do everything and let the mom lay there and dad's kind of on the side. But with midwifery, they're like, no, dad is the coach. Like, dad is there at the hips and dad is there right face to face and holding you and, you know, helping you. And so it was cool that he got to be a huge part of the birth. Like, he was integrated into the birth. I think it was kind of a shock for him to see me in that state because we both didn't know how I would feel or act or be, but he was still amazing and rocked it. We definitely had to process a lot of things about the birth afterwards. It took a few weeks for us to be like sobbing with each other, like, oh, we miss each other. And even still, we're, you know, there's new territory with marriage to navigate and deal with, and there's a lot of emotion to process. And so, but anyways, bless you if you've done a home birth. Bless you if you gave birth in a hospital. All of it's hard. If you formula feed, if you breastfeed, like, all of it is hard. It's just hard. But it's good hard, you know what I mean? It's blessed, it's holy, it's beautiful work, you know? And I think something I'm going through now is just struggling with comparison. You know, I see other moms just loving the newborn stage, and I don't love the newborn stage. I love him, and I know this too shall pass, but I don't love this. It's not very fun for me. And you just got to be honest about it. You got to admit it and just say, hey, I don't like this. Because if you don't admit it, it's going to make it harder. The emotions are going to be harder to handle, I think. You know, I don't like that I feel stuck to my recliner because I have to feed lying down right now because of his reflux, and that I have to do so much laundry, and going out in public gives me anxiety because I go through 10 t-shirts, both of us a day, and 15 million burp cloths, and I don't know, just all of that. You just worry about what people think, and you worry about, oh, how am I going to get home okay? Is he going to be okay? Are people going to think I'm a bad mom because he's spitting up? Are they going to assume this? And, oh, if I tell the doctor I'm not doing this, are they going to judge me and think I'm a bad... It's just like this crazy cycle. So, you know, newborns, it's just not fun for me. People are like, you're going to miss this. And I'm like, yeah, right. I kind of can't wait till he's 3 months old. You know, you just pray and you just ask the Lord for help, and it's going to be okay. But... He really is the best. He's so sweet. He has a sweet personality, and mostly I just want him to feel good, you know? As a mom, you just want the best for your baby and your kids, and I'm just learning that I can't control everything because I'm a control freak. And yeah, okay, this video is going to be too long, so I'll cut it here. But yeah, birth video. We're talking too much about newborn. This is supposed to be about your birth. Did you have fun at your birth? Was it fun for you? Indifferent? You didn't really cry. That was also concerning, huh? You didn't cry. No. Oh, goodness. Okay. Say bye. Say bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. We'll see you later.